This is the big problem, is that Jim Acosta was there. He asked all of these questions. Trump answered the questions. He kept asking more. He kept making more accusations, and he wouldn't give up the microphone. Think about all these reporters in the room who could have asked questions if Jim Acosta had not been stealing the spotlight for himself. And then it's all designed to create this polarity between Jim Acosta and the White House. And then it's all about Jim Acosta. One of the things they tell you when you're trying to be a real journalist is not to make yourself the story. You, the reporter, are not supposed to be the story. The story is the story, and you're covering it. And Jim Acosta doesn't do that. Jim Acosta takes every single chance he possibly can to make himself the story. That's why his press credential should be taken away, because nobody benefits from this. Nobody benefits from Jim Acosta going out and making a star of himself. We should be covering the president, we should be covering the White House, not covering a bloviating hairdo. So the question is, did he put his hands on the woman? Did he actually assault her? You can take a look at the clip right now and judge for yourself.
That's enough.
Mr. President, I was going to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr.
Excuse me.
President.
That's enough.
Mr. President.
Pardon me, ma'am. Pardon me. Keeps the microphone away. So if you couldn't see that, it's a quick exchange. We've slowed it down in super duper slow motion. If you can tolerate Jim Acosta's slow motion voice, take a closer look.
That's enough. Mr. President, I was going to ask one of the other folks. That's enough. Pardon me, ma'am. Mr. President, that's enough. Mr. President.
Pardon me, ma'am. My beautiful hairdo is about to fall out of shape, ma'am. No, I need more gel in the mousse in the...
So that's what's happening for those of you who are listening to it. And what happens is he's holding the microphone. He has gone on now for several minutes, monopolizing the time in this room. And so Trump says, that's enough. Okay, I've answered several of your questions. We're not going to get in a tit for tat here. And so the White House intern, this lovely young woman, comes up to take the microphone, and he pulls the microphone away. And as he pulls it away, his other hand is there and pushes down on her arm that's going to reach for the microphone. So the left is saying, well, she went for him physically. And then the right is saying, he hit a woman, he pushed or shoved a woman, he assaulted a woman. That's not the issue. That isn't the issue. She was perfectly within her rights to take the microphone away from this bloviator, and he, just reacting like the bloviating star seeker that he is, pulls the microphone away to try to keep it, and as he's doing that, he pushes her arm. That's the problem. He's not behaving like a gentleman. He's not behaving with any dignity befitting his occupation. The whole argument for CNN right now is that Donald Trump is this lout, this bore, this vulgarian, but CNN, they're the serious people. They're going to restore dignity to the country. And then this is dignity. This is what happens is you play keep away with this young White House intern after monopolizing the White House press corps' time, after monopolizing the president's time and preventing other reporters from asking questions. Are you kidding me? That's why his press badge should be taken away. It should be taken away because he's getting exactly what he wants right now. And what he wants is not to cover the White House. It's not to cover the president. It's not to cover national policy. It's to make himself famous and go on air with Anderson Cooper and pretend to be a super serious person. I'm actually sort of defending Jim Acosta here in that I don't think he's a woman beater, assailant or something like that. I think that he is a narcissist. And I have a little bit of insight into this because I knew Jim Acosta before Jim Acosta was Jim Acosta. Actually, when I was in college, I was working on a campaign to try to get Mitch Daniels to run for president, the Indiana governor. And the campaign got big enough that CNN sent their young reporter, Jim Acosta, up to cover us. Here is a younger Jim Acosta and a younger me.
It might be a stretch to call him the big man on campus, but Indiana Governor Mitch Daniels is getting some presidential buzz at colleges across the country, thanks to Yale University students Max Eden and Michael Knowles.
So the thing goes on, and I spent an afternoon with Jim Acosta, and I left that thinking, because we were told, watch out, you're doing a right-wing campaign, and CNN's coming up, they're going to cover you poorly. And so I assumed they were going to be really critical of the campaign and really left-wing. It wasn't that. I don't think Jim Acosta is really left-wing at all. I don't think he's left-wing. I don't think he's right-wing. I think he's just all about Jim Acosta. And so the reaction to this, everyone's focusing on the disrespect that he showed to the woman. Think about the disrespect to his colleagues, to the President of the United States, to the White House.